Hello, everyone. Welcome back. What we are watching, episode 40. Joey here with you and my wonderful co host, TJ. How are you, my friend?
Our episodes have finally reached that point where they're in that weird stage because some of their other episode friends have children and their other episode friends have grandchildren now. So we're at that weird stage, right? Welcome.
Yep, we are both at that stage. Because I can say it. I'm only speaking for myself. I do not have any children that I'm aware of. I figured at this point, do not have them with my current wife, did not have them with my former wife. And I figured by this point, somebody would have come forward.
You would think that, but what's going to happen on your 55th birthday? You're going to just happen to be taking a drive. You're going to end up at a Bucky's because Bucky's is just going to be everywhere when you're
Everywhere,
55.
by that time. Yeah.
Right. So you're going to be walking and you're going to see some 28-year-old guy who has white hair just like you, same build and everything. And you're going to be like, hey, doesn't he look like I did when I was that age?
And he's going to be, Papa?
That's it.
Papa. Is that you, Papa?
Don't let me be there, Joey, man, because I'll make a spectacle.
I don't remember ever being with a Russian immigrant. Papa.
You remember, Joey. You remember very well.
That's taking us back to some Sopranos stuff right there.
Hey! That's a callback. And we're back.
That's a callback right there. Yeah. But I will say that I go around and these people, like, they have it's weird though. People my age, they either have like newborns for some reason,
yeah,
or they've got grandchildren, or Junior's a junior in college now. I'm like, oh man, I'm old. I am old.
I am old. And then when Junior's getting married. What?
And I'm 47, but I just turned 47. So in my mind, I'm still kind of 46. And you're like, man, somebody had a child young. And then you start doing the math. And you're like, oh no, they really didn't. They had Junior when they were 23. Now Junior's 23 having a child. I'm like, man, the math is mathing today.
The math is mathing today, and I am not on it. But no, I'm glad to be back, man. I feel like we try and be consistent, way more consistent than we were early on with The Sopranos. We got a lot of stuff going on. We're doing the MCU. We're doing Community. We got lists popping in. Everything for the folks. So thank you all to those who are continuing to rock with us. Share it. Let your friends know, because y'all know this is where you want to be. What?
We're going to have to get. This is a challenge to everybody, so it's probably not going to happen this year because we're coming right up on it. If you want us to do our favorite Groundhog Days movies list, you got to get us to 40 subscribers.
And so I've got some that outside of Groundhog's Day, right?
Outside of like the same. I'm looking at it as the same premise as Groundhog's Day.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. There are a couple films and shows, in my opinion, that would deserve to be on that list. No, and again, I'm not even going to put Bill Murray's Groundhog's Day on there because it is the list. That was it.
Absolutely. It's like we would we do our top 5. That's automatically number 1, and we would do our 2 through 5. Now, I get you. Yep. I fully understand and appreciate that, my brother.
Yeah.
But there was one thing. Oh, I was thinking about this, and folks, comment to this to see what you all think. All right. I'm going to throw a couple of things out there to you now because we've got a long way until we get to it again. All right. Our next Christmas list. What do you think about this? I'm thinking one of 2 ways. And if we go one way this next Christmas, the following Christmas, we'll do the other one. Okay. Our top 5 Christmas specials. So not episodes of TV shows. I'm talking about like Rudolph, Reindeer, Frosty, and so on and so forth.
Gotcha.
So we do that, and then the next year we would do our top 5 Christmas episodes of TV shows. Now here's the caveat, all right? You can only put, like, we can do multiple lists of these, but per list, you can only use an episode of a TV show once. So if you put one of the Office Christmas specials on there, you can't put another Office Christmas special in the same list.
That's tough for me because Bob's Burgers has amazing Christmas specials.
I was thinking Bob's Burgers and I was thinking The Office, but I was thinking, you know, there are a lot of great TV episodes of shows like Arrested Development has a really good Christmas episode. There is no God.
So Sunny in Philadelphia has a really good Christmas episode. That the Christmas episode from their first season was like a 45-minute episode, and it's where Charlie finds out that his mom's been sleeping with Santa's.
There's also I get it. There's also a Christmas episode of 30 Rock where Jack finds out his mother's doing the same thing, but it was a toy store guy, right?
Yeah.
Or we could also do a list like our top 5 Office Christmas episodes or top 5 Bob's Burgers Christmas episodes. We can go do a lot of different things.
There are several things that we can do because if you're not showing love to a Benihana Christmas, then you're missing out.
He goes up to her and he just marks
her. Or and I can't think of what this Christmas title was, but don't make me go get Bob. Like, oh snap! That's what we felt. Phyllis had some pull. Don't make me tell Bob.
What line of work you in, Bob?
Right.
Bob Vance. All right, but we are back still in the first season of Community, and we're up to the 17th episode of the first season, Physical Education. It aired in the United States on NBC on March 4th, 2010. It was written by Jesse Miller and directed by Anthony Russo. Troy finds a hand-drawn portrait with hearts around it, resembling Abed in his huge Spanish book. The group concludes that the book's previous owner, Jenny Adams, likes Abed. However, Abed seems uninterested in meeting her. Jeff joins a billiard class and impresses Coach Bogner with his technique. However, Bogner tells the class they must wear gym shorts because pool is a physical education class. And he is rocking those gym shorts.
He really shouts out, and I can't remember off the top of my head the TV show that actor was famous for.
I know
the guy who played Coach Bogner.
I know that he guest starred a few times on Boy Meets World. He was Sean's dad, I believe.
He was, but I'm thinking he was a regular on some.
He was
show.
regular on something else. Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm remembering him from. But I loved his character, the mannerisms, the way he played it, the way he just would exclaim for no reason. You think you're cool, huh? Ah! He just yells out, just randomly. So yes, let's get into it.
He frustrates Jeff, who is dressed stylishly for the sport. Meanwhile, the group encourages Abed to talk to Jenny in the cafeteria. After some urging, he heads over, although he acts in an off-putting way as he does so. The group stops him and decides to teach Abed how to attract women. Jeff.
1 second. Again, why I love this show so much. The subtle things. So when we see the picture of Abed in Troy's book, surely we need to find the young lady who drew this or get help for the young man, right? Like very subtle homophobia. And then at this point, when they're in the cafeteria and Abed is acting like Dracula and everything else to go and talk to her because Abed as a person would not go talk to her. So he has to act like somebody else. Pierce says, this is getting out of hand. I need to get out of here. I already got 2 strikes. So again, just that subtle stuff that it's not even the heavy punches, right? Like you expect heavy punches on some comedy. It's the lines that you aren't supposed to hear that keep you laughing.
Jeff enters class in the shorts, visibly uncomfortable. After failing to look cool, he changes his clothes and confronts Bogner, who notes to the rest of the class that Jeff cares too much about his appearance. Jeff challenges him to a game of pool, but Bogner only offers to play Jeff in shorts. Jeff refuses and leaves the class. The other group members teach Abed how to act differently for Jenny. Abed embodies Don Draper and seduces Annie in a practice situation.
You gotta.
Showing the group his ability to impersonate. Jeff enters and chastises them for trying to change Abed. Abed then imitates Jeff, which impresses them. They encourage him to act like that when he approaches them.
Everybody just do what you want.
Abed meets Jenny and begins seducing her until her boyfriend, a white student with a face identical to Abed, appears and threatens him. And it is actually Danny Pudi who's playing both roles. Yeah.
Right.
Later, the group worries Abed will be upset over what happened. However, when he arrives, he seems unfazed. He explains that he went after Jenny because he knew it was important to the group that he learned to act normally and that they feel as though they can help him, citing his mother's abandonment and bullying as the usual outcomes when others become frustrated with him. He also explains that he was able to change his personality for the group because he was satisfied enough with his own personality, which inspires Jeff to overcome his ego. Jeff enters the common room in shorts and challenges Bogner to play him. A crowd gathers to watch their intense match. In between shots, Bogner argues Jeff has not actually changed. Jeff strips down to his underwear, claiming he does not care how he looks, and Bogner follows suit. Bogner gets to the last ball, still taunting Jeff. To try to show each other up, both men rip off their underwear. Bogner misses his shot, allowing Jeff to win and earn Bogner's respect, while Bogner tells Jeff he can wear whatever he likes to class. Jeff chooses the gym clothes. Afterward, one of Jeff's classmates asks Jeff to introduce her to Abed. Jeff suggests introducing herself instead. This episode was director Anthony Russo's 6th episode and writer Jesse Miller's first of the series. The climatic pool scene features the song Werewolves of London, which was used in a similar scene in the film The Color of Money. Joel McHale later remarked that he wore a dance belt for the portions in which Jeff is naked, but added that it required a lot of bravery on his part, as he had never acted in a scene like that before.
That was, look, Dean Pelton is hilarious in that moment. Chang is like, shouldn't you stop this? I'm getting evidence. He's just sitting there snapping pictures with his flip phone of Jeff when he's like completely spread trying to hit that shot. So again, great episode because your A roll and your B roll connect perfectly at the end when Jeff gets the opportunity to throw a lob for Abed because she was pretty.
Absolutely. So in its original American broadcast on March the 4th, the episode was viewed by 5.6 million and achieved a 2.3 rating among adults 18 to 49, placing third in its time slot behind American Idol and Survivor Heroes versus Villains. The episode received positive reviews from critics. Jonah Krakow of IGN rated it an 8.5 out of 10, denoting a great episode, and called it another solid episode with yet another uproarious finale. Sean Gandert of Pace also gave it an 8.5 out of 10, noting that the show's cast has become very balanced and that both plot lines were strong. Emily Vanderwolf of the AV Club gave it an A- grade, arguing that the show takes its strength from a strong ensemble and that it has a philosophical bent that made its conflicts much more compelling than other sitcoms. So we move right along to Basic Genealogy. It's the 18th episode of the first season, aired in the United States on NBC on March 11th, 2010. Your birthday.
Hey.
During Family Day at Greendale, Pierce tries to reconnect with his stepdaughter Amber, guest star Katharine McPhee, who becomes attracted to Jeff. Britta gets spanked with a switch.
A switch.
Beating stick in parentheses, like I told you. By Troy's Nana, and Shirley's son calls havoc for Abed's father. In the end tag, Troy and Abed are trapped in the student lounge vending machines, and that's all that it gives you. not their strongest episode, but you're gearing up for some real heavy hitters.
Yeah.
As made clear by their respective production codes, this episode was filmed before the episode Physical Education, but aired after it. Jeff makes a comment to Leonard in that episode about attending Family Day, which occurs in this episode.
Gotcha.
As with all of their community releases, Sony DVD and Mill Creek Blu-ray featured the episodes in their air date order rather than their production order.
Shut up, Leonard. I saw your son at Family Day. He told me about your gambling addiction. Touché. That's right.
Around 4.7 million Americans watched Basic Genealogy. Emily Vanderwolf of the AV Club was disappointed in the episode and rated it a B. She said that this was the first week where the sentimental moments and the hugging and the "you can be a good person, Jeff Winger" pep talks felt like they sort of overwhelmed some of the other elements of the show that I typically enjoy, and singled out guest star Katharine McPhee for an inconsistent performance. So we move on to Beginner Pottery. The 19th episode of the first season aired in the United States on NBC on March the 18th, 2010. Jeff suggests his selection for the ultimate blow-off class to the study group, Beginner Pottery. Meanwhile, Pierce enters the study group room in a sailing outfit. He then manages to convince Troy, Shirley, and Britta to sign up for a one-week sailing class with him that takes place on an actual sailboat in the Greendale parking lot. Jeff, Abed, and Annie, on the other hand, sign up for pottery class, where their professor tells the class that he does not tolerate ghosting.
No ghosting.
Any reenactment of the pottery scene with Demi Moore and Patrick Swayze from the movie Ghost. One of the students, Rich, sculpts a vase that impresses everyone in class except for Jeff, who becomes instantly jealous of Rich. At the end of the day, Jeff returns to the pottery classroom to try to make a creation that rivals that of Rich, but his efforts are ultimately in vain. Meanwhile, the others on the boat agree about Admiral Slaughter, played by Lee Majors. After discussing the rules, Admiral Slaughter appoints Shirley as the boat's captain, much to Pierce's dismay. The next day, Jeff enters pottery class with his finger wrapped up, and Rich offers to take a look at Jeff's finger, revealing that he is a doctor who takes pottery class to unwind. However, Jeff believes that he is a con man who signed up for novice classes to attract girls. Determined to prove his point, Jeff approaches Rich in the parking lot after pottery class, and he notices his license plate is from New Mexico, where Santa Fe is located. After spending the night reading about Santa Fe, Jeff is convinced that anyone from there would be skilled at pottery. Jeff thinks he is... Jeff thinks he has found the information he needs to expose Rich as a charlatan in class. In the Greendale parking lot, Admiral Slaughter gives Shirley a scenario for a storm and then decides the boat must turn back. As Admiral Slaughter releases the jib, everyone manages to duck in time except for Pierce, who is knocked off the boat, and Shirley decides to leave Pierce behind to save the rest of her crew from the storm.
Oh, God.
Jeff goes to confront Rich in pottery class, but when Jeff tries to copy his technique, he inadvertently violates the professor's no ghosting rule and is thrown out of the class. Jeff finds Pierce in a small rowboat on campus. It's just so silly.
It really is.
Who explains that his crewmates drowned him for a better grade. Jeff opens up to Pierce about the difficulty of failure, as not being able to make a good pod in class made him question himself. Despite being left behind, Pierce is determined to return to his class. Pierce crashes his rowboat into a fountain, causing his boat to fill up with water, which Shirley and the crew witness. Although the rest are unwilling, Shirley makes the decision to go after him and keep him from drowning, and Pierce is saved by his fellow crewmates. At the end of the class, Admiral Slaughter promotes Shirley to Admiral and gives everyone an A.
The first person to ever drown in a parking lot twice.
Jeff returns to pottery class with the professor's approval. He apologizes to Rich for his behavior and finally comes to terms with making terrible pots, and imagines his mother telling him he is a normal person who is skilled in some things and less in others. It is then revealed Rich's secret to success is remembering the hurtful things his mother said to him in regards to his brother's death.
The wrong one died.
Around
what are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about.
Now that's a callback. No. Around 5.2 million Americans watch beginner's pottery.
Okay.
The Science of Illusion is the 20th episode of the first season. It aired in the United States on NBC on March 25th, 2010. Due to potential April Fool's Day shenanigans, Annie and Shirley become on-campus security guards. Both fight to be the bad cop, while Abed follows their activities. Pierce announces that he is about to become a level 6 laser lotus in his Buddhist church, which inspires Jeff to trick him into looking like the Cookie Crisp wizard. Britta chides the group for the prank, but they just call her a buzzkill. In response, she plans her own prank to sneak a frog with a sombrero onto Senor Chang's desk. But it backfires when she sneaks into the biology room and knocks the cadaver out the window. When Dean Pelton confronts the Spanish class about the incident, Jeff figures out what happened and gives Britta an ultimatum to confess. Britta calls Annie and Shirley anonymously to accuse Jeff, leading the two to chase him unsuccessfully. Abed, pretending to be a police chief, reprimands Annie and Shirley and tells them to step down, but the two decide to pursue the case unofficially. They track down Jeff in the study room and attempt to force him to confess before Britta admits what she did, saying she just wanted people to see her differently. Annie, Shirley, Pierce, and Troy make similar confessions, and Jeff assures Britta that she is an important member of the group. The end tag shows the first appearance of the Troy and Abed in the Morning show.
Troy and Abed in the morning.
There's no camera there.
The folks at home. Who are the folks at home?
I like the people behind, like holding up signs.
Right. Like they're there really enjoying themselves. Shouts to Dino Stananopoulos, aka
My name is Alex. My name is Alex.
Get that sketched into your face.
So cultural references in this episode: Baba Booey, Cookie Crisp, Animal House, Snake in a Can, Buddy Cop, Fad Dieting, New Age Religion, and Cagney and Lacey. Yeah. Around 5.07 million Americans watched The Science of Illusion. Emily Vanderwolf of the AV Club gave the episode an A- and praised the show's willingness to tell weird stories that nonetheless find heartwarming things to say.
I don't know if this episode is supposed to be the connector between the two, but we have in this episode what I would be willing to say is an Easter egg for Arrested Development. The cop, not the bigger cop that they ended up reusing with the cop drama, you know, Love is not admissible evidence. Not that guy, but the one who's partnered with him in this episode is actually a cop in Arrested Development who was marrying the other cop and getting the baby from Liza.
They were getting Maggie lies her ass off. So we're up to contemporary American poetry.
Boom. You know I've been waiting on this one.
I know you have. It's the 21st episode of the first season, aired in the United States on April the 22nd, 2010. So they had a little bit of a break.
Mm-hmm.
In the episode, Jeff convinces the rest of the study group to help him skim chicken fingers from the cafeteria, but with Abed's help, the plan quickly spirals into a much larger operation. The episode is styled similarly to mafia movies, particularly the 1990 film Goodfellas. It has received mostly positive reviews from critics. During one of their meetings, the study group leaves early for lunch to get chicken fingers, which are the only food served by the Greendale cafeteria that the members of the study group enjoy. However, the cafeteria runs out before the group can get any, as they are widely popular among Greendale students. Jeff gets angry when he notices Starburns, the fry cook, skimming chicken fingers for his friends. He convinces the rest of the study group to help him gain control of the kitchen. They work to get Starburns fired and get Abed hired as the new fry cook. Abed skims chicken for his friends as planned, but he also starts giving Senor Chang chicken. This concerns everyone until he reveals that Chang is giving them higher Spanish grades in return, at which point the group, except for Jeff, enthusiastically supports the deal. Under Abed, the group works out a system to redistribute the skimmed chicken. Abed begins to use favors from other students to provide spoils to the rest of the study group. Irritated by this, Jeff attempts to talk to the group, but he realizes they no longer listen to him, as Abed has been providing the study group with things that they enjoy using his newfound power. He leaves to find Abed taking more requests for chicken from other students. Jeff argues the ploy has gone on long enough, but Abed counters by arguing Jeff misses the control he once had. Jeff then tries to convince the rest of the group to stop following Abed. When they refuse to listen, he threatens to leave, and nobody stops him.
Nobody stops him.
The next day, Jeff is approached by Starburns. He gives Jeff a key to the kitchen and tells Jeff there's a valve on the fryer that could be removed, breaking the fryer permanently.
Because they don't make it anymore. It would never work again.
You know those people who try to be subtle but have no idea how to be subtle?
Not at all.
It's like when you try to teach little kids how to wink and they're like and then they say, "Did you see that? I winked at you."
Like, yes. Now let's talk about being inconspicuous.
Jeff reluctantly takes the key. Abed notices that the remaining members of the study group are growing greedier and pettier from their spoils. So he sends the group a message by taking away or ruining the things that he had given them, including letting Troy's monkey, named Annie's Boobs, out of his cage. Panicked, they track down Jeff, who accepts their apology after pointing out that he was right about what would happen. He agrees to help stop Abed. That evening, Jeff sneaks into the kitchen where he finds Abed frying new foods. Abed explains that people grew tired of chicken, but that he'll find something new to replace it. Jeff realizes that skimming... Hold on. My pages are sticking together. And giving out chicken had helped Abed connect to others. Ashamed, he admits to Abed that he had planned to sabotage the fryer and that he had indeed just been jealous about losing control. Jeff agrees to help Abed connect with people in return for Abed helping Jeff to treat them better. Abed quits as fry cook and things return to normal for the study group. The episode was written by Emily Cutler and Carrie Dornetto, it is Cutler's first and Dornetto's second writing credit of the show. It was directed by Tristan Shapiro in his first directing credit for the show. As a whole, the episode is an homage to Goodfellas, with Abed's narration of the study group story mirroring Henry Hill's telling the story of the Lucchese crime family's rise and fall. Mm-hmm. Several moments in the episode, such as the uses of Layla and the inclusion of freeze frames, are referenced to specific scenes in the movie. The chicken has been seen as a stand-in for either the cocaine or the cigarettes, liquor, and other drugs dealt in the film. Abed remarks that Shirley's attempt to attract the man reminded him of the Predator. A newspaper heading in one scene reads Stargate, with clarification underneath that the reference is to the Watergate scandal, not the 1994 film Stargate. Shirley cites Tyler Perry's films when arguing why Abed needs to be stopped. Toward the middle of the episode, Pierce kisses Abed's hand and Jeff glares and Troy closes the door, mirroring the final scene of The Godfather. Near the end of the episode, Abed and Jeff recreate a scene from 16 Candles by dining on a table. The episode also references the concept of a very special episode.
So if I can put a bow on this one, the one thing that because I like gangster movies. Goodfellas is one of my favorites. Ever since I can remember, I always wanted to be in a gangster movie. That's an amazing way to start an episode. But when Abed is getting retribution against the crew for their, acting out and doing it in the way that they did in the Goodfellas, the fact that they played the same song
right
that they did in Goodfellas at that point as we're seeing all this stuff being done, I thought it was so well done. So kudos for a great episode.
All right. So the critics mostly across the board love this episode. And in a ranking of the best episodes of the series, EW.com placed the episode 15th, noting that one of Community's first full-blown concept episode is one of its best. A separate ranking of all 110 episodes by TV.com placed the episode 9th. It is the second highest episode on the list from season 1 behind Modern Warfare.
I think that we may have to do our own at the end whenever we're putting a bow on it, because I would look at it differently. I'm weird about how I looked at Community, and I would say, what 3-pack of episodes can you just watch anytime?
Mm-hmm.
And I always wanted to include this one, but the one before and the one after weren't as strong, so there was no way to get contemporary American poultry with Modern Warfare in a 3-pack.
Right.
So yeah, but I I'm all about lists, baby.
We'll do that. We'll do our top lists when we finish. All right. So what's next, TJ?
It seems to me that we gotta journey on back down MCU way with a one-shot and a film.
We do. First of all, we're going to find out whatever happened on the way to Thor's hammer. Let me just tell you, it's just some stuff goes down. Oh, yeah. You can't stop at a roadside convenience store anymore without something going down. You just wanted some donuts.
It gets hot. It gets heavy.
And it gets hot and heavy. And then we're going to find that hammer, and it's going to belong to the God of Thunder.
With bleached eyebrows.
Mr. Thor himself. With Mjolnir.
Jonathan. That is by far one of the funniest clips that Marvel has pieced together, man, asking all the actors to pronounce Mjolnir. And then when you get to Paul Rudd, what's Thor's hammer's name? Jonathan. Just so proud. He knew he was right.
Yep. And then just glare at him. Say I'm wrong. Say I'm wrong.
Tell me I'm wrong.
We've also got some big things coming up in the world of the MCU. Daredevil Born Again coming out.
Yes.
And then is it, I don't want to get it wrong, is it Spider-Man freshman year?
Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man comes out tomorrow.
Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. I think it used to be called freshman year.
It was freshman year, and then they did a little switcherooskies.
A little animated action for you.
Showing a young Peter Parker.
A young Peter Parker.
Yeah.
But TJ, before we go, tell everybody what's up with you.
Well, if you want to know what's up with me, the easiest thing to do would be to venture on over to Baby Kangaroo Media and check out that Patreon, because we've got the episode in January for the Artist Corner was great with Essex O'Brien, very talented actor. Has done a lot of awesome things. And the next one is getting edited as we speak with one Darren Smith, star of the film Has Anyone Seen Bill? That's going to be coming soon. And then obviously I'm getting out there getting the opportunity to act as well. So if you squint your eyes, oh, that's not Michael Clark Duncan. That's Tarian Johnson. Ooh. So no, man, just looking forward to getting back with you, man. As always, I am contractually obligated to mention the fact that I need to be back on the Joey Harris Show podcast. If I don't mention that, I lose 2 or 3 hours of my life. So I have to mention that every time I'm with you, or yeah, it's a part of the curse. So I have to make sure that I'm upholding my end. And again, shouts out to Nan. Cut the check.
More episodes of Cut the Check, I hope, are coming in sometime in the future.
So I'm going to go ahead and let you all behind the veil on that one. I reached out to Nan before New Year's to ask if we could link together to cut some more checks. She told me to reach out to her representation. I haven't spoken to Nan since. As a matter of fact, the first anything that I got from Nan was an LOL from the picture that I sent to you two last night. She hasn't had anything to do with me. We are now talking through representations.
Representation? Oh, yeah. My goodness.
Cut the check. Apparently somebody has cut her a check. She won't let me in on it. She's like, I got my check. I hope TJ get his. Oh,
would you become fancy? A fancy guy, like if just millions just showed up at your door? Would you be like, you know?
No. I was talking to my friend Gigi about this last weekend. If I won $1 trillion, I'm having a 1-story house built. I mean, it's just going to be the easiest 1-story house ever, man. I don't want to do stairs anymore. I'm not a jerk that's going to say I'm going to put an elevator in my house. I don't need a bowling alley in my house, you know. So no, I'm not going to.
You said that like it's going to be a separate building. I mean, even if it's raining, I could run. I could run,
bro. You say dumb money. I'm getting a compound. My house is going to be on the top of the hill. There will be like a mini golf bowling alley type of area, but there's also going to be several houses, and you and your wife will occupy one of those. I'll give you one. You don't even have to pay rent. You just live there, man, because I want you in the compound. But that's not fancy. That's practical.
How wide is this 1-story house? Because you can have mile-long 1-story house.
You're not wrong. That's the part that I don't mention, right? Like, I'm not going to talk about how big this 1-story house is. I'm just saying it's 1 story. So you hear it and you're like, oh, he's a modest guy. Like I am. Until you realize that this 1-story house is the size of a football stadium. And then you're like, that's different.
I heard a podcast, I think in December. It was a wrestling podcast, and this guy was talking about he used to work for this guy and said he, invited him over to his house for dinner. He said he went, dinner was nice, and he's looking around at a big mansion. Mm-hmm. And the guy says, come over here and look at this. And he goes, and there's a spot in the house that you can see where other things have just shot up. And he goes, this is a double wide trailer. And the guy goes, what? He goes, yeah. I built this, or, got it put down and all that and settled. And, his wife likes living there. He said, I went off, started wrestling, earning some money, sent it back to her. She didn't want to move, so she expanded the house. So they live in a mansion that's basically just a pimped out double wide.
That's so dope.
Because you can knock out a part of a trailer and add other stuff to it, and that's just what they did.
Dope. Though I would like, bro. If you got a picture of that somewhere, man, send that to me, man. I would love to see that, bro.
I'll see if I can find it. But you just should go and look. There's a lot of places like that. I'm like, you know what? I'm not mad at it. I like this.
As long as you're comfortable, bro. What else?
I know where I live. Yeah, I know where I live and stuff. This is the thing. I came up with plans, like, you know, crudely drawn plans for a house. Everything was on one level, but this is what I would need. Number one, I would call it like a library or media room and stuff like that. That's going to have my big screen TV, a comfortable couch, all my DVDs, the streaming thing, and right behind it, a desk like this one. So when I get up in the morning and do my notes for my wrestling podcast, that's where I would do it. But a total separate room would be the studio. Like I record away from all that. I'd have a dedicated studio space. So.
Soundproof, professional quality. Like I'm talking like that
on the back quality. Like where this is right there, it would say on air.
Oh yeah, light up, like lit up. Hell yeah, man, that'd be dope. And I want to get a plaque for Baby Kangaroo Media. That's got to be in there, man.
All about it. Baby Kangaroo Media at gmail.com, patreon.com/Baby Kangaroo Media. What we're watching, don't forget to hit subscribe down there. Hit the notification bell. You'll never miss an episode because you'll get notified whenever we have an episode. And big things coming on. We will continue our journey next time to the MCU. In the meantime and in the in-between time, I'm at The Joey Harris on all social media. And we will talk to you all next time.